Sitting here with my two favorite Cougs, Aaron Soderlin.
What's up, man?
Tom Headley.
Hello.
We're in our Coug gear and our love for the university and the athletic program.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Pullman in general.
And Pullman in general. I mean, what a better place.
Yeah.
I was just there a month ago.
Lucky.
My daughter, who's a junior in high school right now, is thinking about going to Washington State.
Love that. Yes.
We had a calzone at Cella's, a beer at the Coug.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
You and your daughter had a beer at the Coug?
No, me and my wife. My wife was
okay.
there.
All right.
My wife and I both went to Washington State.
I don't think the Coug wants you telling people that.
Well, before 8, you're allowed to
I'm
have
just kidding.
minors.
Kids are allowed
Yes.
to be in there. I can attest to
I'm
that.
just kidding with you.
And I made up that 8, and I'm not sure if that's
Actually, it is 8.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Because I've brought my kids there
Yeah.
before 8. But at 7:45, they do not let them in because it's too close to kick-out time.
Wasn't the bar time always 15 minutes ahead? I always thought that
Maybe that's why.
could very
I feel
well.
like you've been at too many closing times at the bar. Like, it's only 1:45.
I've done that. Yes.
Truth. That's funny.
So you're a season ticket holder, right?
Yeah.
How many years now?
I was just trying to think that through. I think 7.
7 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'd like pull out my phone and show you my seats, but that'd be weird.
And
They're
you're-
so great. Sit right on the 50-yard line. The alumni side is what we used to call it, at least. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I mean, keep my trailer in Pullman for the football season and drive over, pick it up, pull it into town, stay there for Friday to Sunday, and go home.
It's amazing. I've
Yeah.
had the opportunity
Dude, it's
to
great.
do that with you, and
great.
there's no better time had.
Yeah.
And Tom,
And
know
I have
you've
as well. Yeah.
done
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah. We've never done it together, the three of us.
We need to remedy that. I
Yeah,
feel.
we
Yeah.
do that. Only if we wear these matching sweatshirts.
Yes, yes. That would be a must.
But yeah, no, Stella's is a must every time.
Has to be.
I guess the only place I make sure I go every single time
Yeah.
is Stella's.
We ate at a new restaurant, and I can't even think of the name of it now, but it was up by CCN.
Oh, the land, something land.
The Land.
The
yeah,
land,
Yeah,
I think?
it's called The Land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Good
amazing
spot.
how much
I met the owner of the land in the Jiffy Lube waiting room
Nice.
while I was getting an oil change before pulling the trailer home this year. Great dude.
Good dude?
Yeah, absolutely. So go to the land, check out the land. I don't remember the guy's name, but maybe he remembers me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the university and the town has grown since we were there. And
Yeah.
it feels like it's something new every time we go there, and I love that about Pullman. It's so great.
Yeah. The new football facility, indoor facility that they're building
I've seen
is
that.
once
It's under construction.
It's under construction. It's a testament to where college athletics is going and what you need to do to stay prevalent when recruiting. But it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, no, I saw it. They had like the big blow up. That was their previous one. Right
Yeah,
now,
they
it's
had a bubble.
It's an actual structure, which is nice because it does get cold in Pullman, and you don't want to be practicing outside in the bitter cold of Pullman.
Did you guys ever go to like a pool when you were a kid? And like in the wintertime, they put the bubble over it.
Oh yeah,
Like I had Newport Hills Swim and Tennis Club, and then in the wintertime, it was like, oh, the bubble's going up. I was like, you could still go, but you didn't want to go to the bubble. And that's basically what the practice facility was. It was just a bubble. It was kind of...
They didn't put any bubbles
cool.
over
Like-
Kingsgate pools. Like, it was
They just closed it.
closed.
You were as fancy as North Renton. North Renton.
North Renton.
Sorry, they'd call it South Bellevue.
When I worked for the Seahawks, we had a bubble in the Kirkland before the VMAC in Renton. We were at Northwest College in Kirkland, and there was a bubble there. And I worked with a guy that said every time you go into the bubble, you get sick. Like it's just a germ factory.
yeah, I believe that.
Probably like an airplane.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like,
Don't you always
totally.
get sick after you get off a plane
Totally.
and traveling from somewhere?
Absolutely. I love to travel to Pullman.
Yeah, I've yet to fly into Pullman.
The airport's
So
bigger.
that's the biggest change that I saw. Like there's real planes
Yeah.
going into Pullman
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, they upgraded the runway to land a 737.
Yeah.
That means we can fly teams from other places. They don't have to fly into Spokane and then drive down.
Right.
That's a big deal. But then, of course, as soon as that happened, they kicked us out.
We're not. There's no Pac-12 anymore.
We're a little bitter, aren't we?
No.
What are your thoughts on the demise of the Pac-12? Just I don't need stats. I'm just curious.
It's the Huskies' fault.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
No, it's sad. I think it'll become anytime tradition goes away, it's sad.
Well, it's 110 years of history. That is no longer there.
The Pac-12 network had their final live broadcast.
It was the baseball game, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was an Arizona baseball game.
Yeah.
And then Arizona walked it off. But they were listing like the names of the athletes that played in the Pac-12 conference, and it's like Willie Mays, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like it's like monsters of every sport. Like there's a reason Bill Walton called it the Conference of Champions.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bill.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was sad news this week
Super
too.
sad.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that he had cancer. We must have kept that on the low.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also not his family, so I don't know.
True.
You're not?
No.
He's like 6'11".
I saw yeah, come on now. That's not nice. I got this book recently, and this isn't necessarily entirely Pac-12 related, but Bill Walton made me think of it. NBA. So there's a book on Bill Russell, and it was Bill Russell wrote this book, and I was like, man, what a great book. And it was like the 11 rules. I can't even think of the name, but it was like the 11 rules that Bill Russell came up with, and he calls himself the greatest team player in the history of basketball. Michael Jordan fans tend to get upset by that because, like, no, he's the greatest player. And I'm like, no, he said the greatest team player. Anyway, all these things to say.
He's got 9 rings.
At the end, dude. And then he won 3 national championships in college or something
At
like
San
that.
Francisco, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Like, he's only not won the championship on a team 1 year.
Wow.
That he's played there.
Also, Mercer Island resident.
Well, and so this was my point. Yeah. So as I got to the end of the book, I was like, man, you know what? I had also just read a book that basically said, like, just go for it. And it was like this idea of you have an idea, just try it. And there was a day where the author was driving around with his kid, and the kid was sick. And he goes, you know what? Let's call the president and let him know you're sick. And the kid goes, why would the president want to know I'm sick? He goes, why would the president not want to know you're sick? And so I think it was called Dream Big, Dream Big. And so he called the office. He called the White House and said, hey, is the president available? Oh, and he's like, I just wanted him to know that my kid's sick. And, and it's like, what if he'd answered?
Yeah.
What if they had transferred him and said,
Right.
like, what a cool moment that would have been. Yeah. So I finished this Bill Russell book, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to call Bill Russell or email him or something. And I thought, and then at that point, I forgot he lived on Mercer Island. And then I was like, oh, shoot. Well, for those of you listening, and Mercer Island's like 7 minutes from here. Right. And I went to look him up, and he had died 2 days before I finished that.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, man, I was like, what's the worst that he could say? No.
Right.
Like, hey, Bill, would you go to coffee with me? I mean, perhaps you don't know how big of a deal I am. I'm the CFO. But, of a major company.
Yes.
Anyway, but what if he had said yes?
Yeah.
So, like, I think some of those things are, like, look for opportunities and just go for it. And
Absolutely.
I don't know. Act first, think later.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest life advice, but
It's like rather ask for forgiveness and permission.
Yeah, totally.
I use that at home every once in a while. It doesn't always work.
But getting back to Cougar football for a second, though, a lot of people have asked me, like, what are you going to do with your season tickets? Like, are you going to keep them?
Yeah, good question.
I'm like, yeah, of course I'm going to keep them. Am I excited about playing Wyoming? Not really. But for right now, they're new teams.
Right.
Right. And there's an element of excitement in new teams and just new blood, all that. So that's okay. But I do think something will be different in a couple years.
Yeah, it all comes down to recruiting. And where do young kids and players want to spend their 4 years?
Yeah.
And Pullman is a special place, but you have to love it. And you no longer have the draw that you're playing USC and Oregon.
But I mean, when I say something different 2 years, I mean like in the country for sports.
Agree 100%.
And so I think what we see right now as a 2-team division, obviously something has to change there, but I do think enough will change around us in these 2 years that I think we'll be invited into something different.
I agree.
So from a season ticket standpoint, like, I don't want to lose the seats that I've worked my way up to getting just because a couple weird years. Right. I mean, shoot, we're gonna have Texas Tech this year in Pullman.
That's a big game.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. We have the leech system game or something. I don't know, but So, I'm excited about it. I'm not thrilled about what's going on, but for a couple of years, I'm okay with it.
In the end, it's still 18 to 21-year-old kids running around playing football.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
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 And they're good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Tom, from your experience in the NFL, what are your thoughts and feelings like on the transfer portal? Because I mean, you mentioned earlier about kids, playing for a school for 4 years, and I just feel like we've lost that element of school loyalty because of nil and how much are you going to pay me to come play for you, and that just really hurts me seeing that from someone that loves Pullman and loves college
We're also
sports.
old. Obviously, it's sad to see what money does, and ultimately that's what it's about.
Right.
The transfer portal, yes, it's sad to see a kid's how much are you going to pay me?
Right.
But we're no different.
Right.
If somebody offered me $1 million, yeah, I might make a different decision.
Right.
So I can't blame the kids. You can blame the system.
Right.
It's just sad.
It is. Yeah. It is. And then it's also been beneficial. I mean, we picked up some great players through the transfer portal, and I mean, Gardner Minshew. I mean, didn't we get him through the portal?
Cam Ward too.
Yeah, Cam Ward as well.
Now he's going to be the quarterback at
Miami.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So it's not all bad, but it's just different. And
it's just different.
It's changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I do for $1 million.
Yeah, right.
I mean, on that note,
Schools is one of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, it's just you can't blame the kids for trying to follow their dreams of
No, not
playing
at all.
professional sports and whatever gives them the best opportunity to do that.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if they can get paid in college.
I mean, the reality is college football is minor league football.
Yeah.
In the same way that minor league baseball, they just
Right. I mean, football's the only real sport that doesn't have a minor league system.
Yeah.
Well, and it funds the rest of all of the athletic teams and
Yeah.
departments in schools is because it's such a huge moneymaker.
Right. Because people like me, I'm like, I'm going every weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, I'm leaving again. Yeah. No, I agree.
What's your typical Cougar football Saturday consist of? If you were to break it down,
Like when I'm in Pullman?
yes, yeah. I mean, with let's say a 7:00 kick. What does your day consist of?
7 p.m. kick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long day.
Versus at 12 o'clock.
No, it's a great day, but it's a long day. I'm usually up I'm waking up in the trailer to sunlight. It's not always sunny, those November games, but I'm getting up in the trailer around 6:30 or 7 in the morning. I will get up. Whatever kid I'm there with is definitely still sleeping. And I will, where I keep the trailer is down in town. And so I will get up and walk to the Roost coffee shop.
Great spot.
And I will go get my coffee, and then I will walk back, and I sit on the chairs, usually light the fire pit table and sit outside, and I'm just scrolling Instagram and Facebook or reading news or whatever, drinking coffee by the fire pit table in the morning until the kid wakes up. I'm talking to Skip and Aaron, and I'm talking to other neighbors that are, all of us who are down on Lot 6 together, and it's the same group every week. So we just, sometimes get morning talks and
great community, right?
Super great community, love it. And Skip and Aaron live in town. They live in Woodinville with me, so we haven't done it a ton, but we've done it a couple of times where we've gotten together just over here, which is fun. And we're like, how do you know, Michael? We're trailer a lot buddies, And they're great. And then we'll get up and get breakfast. We'll often make breakfast at the trailer because that's the easiest one to do, and like bacon and eggs outside or something. And then we'll go get lunch. Usually that's a Cella's time right there.
Yeah,
like
perfect.
lunchtime Cella's is kind of great. And then we're tailgating at the trailer for the most of the afternoon. Nice. And we'll bring the cornhole boards. We're hanging out with people and friends come by or whatever. And if it's 7:00 game though, man, I'm going out for dinner first too.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then get home late. And if we won that game, we're staying up later. If we lost that game, we're probably going to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my game day routine.
I used to love the 7 o'clock kicks on Saturday night from a selfish perspective because I knew the kids were going to bed, and so then I could actually really watch the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now my kids are older; it doesn't really matter, but they know when Washington State football is on.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're watching.
Totally.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Cougs on TV, we got a new contract, right, with CW and Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to help. I mean, there aren't going to be as many 7 o'clock games. I'm understanding, or
I don't think so.
What's your thought on that?
Exposure's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's 93 television channels we're going to be on, like across the country. There's 93 something different CW channels or
And Cougs
whatever,
are
which
everywhere.
just means we're going to be everywhere. It's like it's like the Sotheby's network, but at the same time, we're just going to have Cougs everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I think it's great. You know, you don't have to have, you don't have to have different internet providers in order to get this and stream this.
Is that true? Is CW like on YouTube TV and on Comcast? Like you can get it?
I think you can stick a paper clip into the back of your TV and get
I don't
the
think
CW.
TVs work like that anymore.
They worked at school when I was a kid. The teacher would leave the room,
absolutely.
and you just go stick it and like turn the TV on. It's awesome. I never did that, Mom.
Yeah. TV, man. Like Comcast.
It's just changed.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's streaming now. Like, how many streaming services do you have? It seems like. I mean, I'm looking through my bill, and I'm like, I don't watch that channel anymore. I don't watch that channel, but I don't want to get rid of it because what if I do want to watch that channel? Right?
What if?
What if?
Then you call me. We go to the bar and we watch it down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I encourage that actually.
You've asked us a lot of questions about Cougar stuff. What about you? Like, what's your game day experience? What do you love?
I love Pullman. I just being there, just the atmosphere, the excitement, the energy. We're actually going back for the opener this year.
Okay.
And we're bringing the family. This will be the second time that we brought the boys.
Is it the Portland State game?
Yeah, Portland State.
I don't want to say it should be a win, but I can't. But I do. But this video is going to be proof, and it's going to come back to bite me.
Oh yes, yes.
That's a win. That's a good win.
The last opener we went to was Idaho, and we almost blew that game. So definitely hoping for better results for Portland State. But we are staying at the Marriott, which I believe is just right across from Beasley there, or just down from Beasley. So walking distance to the stadium, which is nice.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Holiday Inn Express, which is a bit more of a hike.
Yeah, that's borderline not walkable. Right?
There's 2 new hotels up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Just stop at Cella's on your way. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, you're good.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of plugs for Cella's today.
I know.
right?
We should get some advertising money for that, I think.
Totally.
Or at least a freeze.
That would assume people are going to
Calzo.
see this.
There's at least 7 people who will watch this. Yeah.
If the timing's right, I'd love to play golf at Palouse Ridge. I mean, it's an amazing golf course.
Yeah.
And way better than the 9-hole course that was there when we attended.
Do your boys play golf?
So I had clubs in their hand at a year old, each of them. My oldest now refuses to play because it messes with his baseball swing.
That's
Fair.
That's
fair.
fair.
My youngest, he'll
Play
still
golf in the off season.
Yeah. I'll have to pull his arm a little bit, but I can get him to come out. But my youngest, he loves it. Like he'll just be like randomly, Dad, let's go play golf.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I'd want to bring him to Palouse Ridge. Not saying that I wouldn't, but just given the time frame, and we're going with a lot of families that have kids, and golf's a pretty big commitment.
It's a demanding course,
and it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Yeah, and he'd probably use all of my balls and probably lose them, and then I wouldn't have anything to play with.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, can't go there.
Yeah. This is too far. Yeah. I hope we still rolled that though, but man.
I apologize. That was
Don't apologize. That's just funny. All right. I mean, should we get the calendar out and figure out which games we're going to together this year?
I mean, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to all
I
of
don't
them
know.
for the most
I'm
part,
not,
right?
actually. No, it's not looking good.
So
The
yeah,
calendar's-
Nathan was your go-to, and he's going to be at Utah this year.
Yeah.
So that changes the dynamic a little bit.
You know, and also people are like, oh, your kid's going to college, so you're going to have another Coug. I was like, no, not a Coug. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I said, no, it's okay. It's okay. I've always told them they can have their own story. You can go to any school in the world you want to go to, except for one.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well,
I agree with that.
Yeah, you know,
we differ on that
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, no. I was like, you have some college money, it's valid at all schools but one. And you choose that one, and Mom and I are gonna pay the penalties, and we're gonna go on one hell of a vacation.
Yes.
And you're gonna be slapped with debt.
I do enjoy going to Tucson, where my daughter goes to school. Like,
Yeah.
Arizona's fun.
Well, and so that's like one of the for me one of the biggest sad moments of the breakup of the Pac-12.
Right.
Because like Kiara's going to Arizona, Nathan's going to Utah. Like those were schools that we could go down to and watch
the
Cougs play the Wildcats,
Absolutely.
watch the Cougs play the Utes, and vice versa. And we had plans where like, oh, it'll be great if you go there. I'll fly down for the Cougs Utah game at Rice Eccles, and then on the flip side, I'll fly you up to Pullman when the Utes play up there. And that'd be cool father-son time. And when they broke that up, and it's a bummer. It could still happen. But
it could still happen. Yeah, a
couple years from now, we might end up together again.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, we're West Coast people. Like, travel on the West Coast is fine.
Yeah.
But those schools that are traveling to play Rutgers in New Jersey,
That's
like,
wild.
Oh, you know what the best part about
crazy.
all the complaining that the Huskies have done over the years about their 7 p.m. games and how much they hate it and like victim. Their news, they have 3 7 p.m. starts already on their schedule. And their first road game, they have to fly to Rutgers. It's like, enjoy it, guys. Have fun. But, you know, they also have a conference, so that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, pretty good conference.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I mean,
I think it'll be eye-opening for them playing some of those big schools next year.
Yeah.
And what kind of product are they going to have on the field? Because they lost their whole team to the draft into the portal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
and their coach to Alabama.
As you can
And their
see,
athletic director.
we
Then they
are
took ours.
loving. We are
Wait a
loving
minute.
this.
Yeah. Also, while we are on the topic of Pullman, and we're all real estate and mortgage, right? I mean, like, also, like, we're all Cougs doing business together. It seems like a good opportunity to kind of plug Cougs First.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, those not familiar, Cougs First is like the yellow pages of Cougs. So, like, if I'm going to buy a car, I might as well buy a car from a dealer that's owned by a Coug. If I'm going to get a mortgage, I might as well get my mortgage through a Coug and support Coug-owned businesses. And
we have those lists for you. Like
we do,
yeah,
absolutely.
like,
In fact, actually, all these matching sweatshirts that we look so good in are owned. We're not owned by. We're made by College Hill. Actually, they're made by Nike, but College Hill is a Pullman-based company that puts together marketing things, and they have done like tents for me and like the big pop-up tents with my name on it and things, and for advertising purposes. And then these for Wazoo, they do a ton of work for Wazoo.
Right.
But College Hill is great.
Yeah, one of the main reasons I stay at Marketplace Sotheby's and love Marketplace Sotheby's is it's Coug owned.
Yeah.
Our Wi-Fi password is Go Cougs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, totally.
yeah. And have been a supporter of Cougs First.
My gut was like, don't tell the passwords, but no, that one's an okay password.
Feel free to come to our office. Want to buy a house?
Free Wi-Fi, please. Step on in.
But I mean, like we were talking earlier about like throwing housewarming parties for clients and stuff, and I would go to wineries that were owned by Cougs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to a brewery that's owned by Cougs, and I'm going to get their beer and their wine. And
Shout out 20 Corners.
Yeah, shout out to 20 Corners and Goose Ridge Winery.
Yeah.
And I feel like most alcohol places are owned by Cougs, but at least around.
Not wrong.
Oh, actually, speaking to you guys, have you had the new Crimson Lager?
I saw that. I
No,
have
where's
not had
that?
it, though.
Who makes it?
Pike Brewing, also owned by Cougs. They have a Old Crimson Lager. It's a canned beer, and the profits from Old Crimson go to the Cougar Collective NIL money.
Oh.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
probably go out
Like
for
we're
lunch and get one of those.
Probably.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
speak in our own language here.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
just do what we do well, right? But yeah, I think what a great way to kind of invest money into Cougar athletics and help those, players. Anyway, and we got some beer out of it at the same time.
Can't beat that.
Yeah. Anyways, that was just as we're talking about Cellas, we're talking about like the
1890
Roost.
Club.
Yeah, just all. I mean, there's so many great places that I'd love to like promote, and but Cougs First is a great one.
It is.
So
Go
yeah.
Cougs.
yeah, go Cougs, man. We talking more about this stuff, or are
Oh,
we going back to real estate stuff now?
You tell me.
Man, I don't know. I'm just here for a good time, man.
Oh, here's one. Here's one. So you have a son going to Utah,
Yep.
and the cost of room and board, out of state is very expensive. Mm-hmm. And we were talking, in one of our groups about maybe looking at purchasing real estate in a college town or a school where your son or daughter can live there, rent out a couple rooms, help pay the mortgage, and they're going there anyways, right?
Yeah.
So have you talked to anybody? I know you've got friends that have kids that are going to Utah with Nathan, and any thoughts on that? I know, Tommy, you were looking at maybe trying to do that too, but just what a great opportunity to invest in real estate, but also, you're spending that money anyways by sending your child there.
I have not had the conversations with other people yet. I do have Nathan's roommate, his future roommate. I do know that family, and they're not watching this. I was going to say, I don't want to tip my hand, but actually no. But I do want to bring up with them the idea of we're paying room and board anyways. Let's look at year 2, buying a house together.
Yeah.
Right. And with the Sotheby's referral network, and out there for me, that's easy. That's Scott Robbins. But like find an agent in whatever town. Like if you've got kids going to college, like let me know. I can get you an agent in that town, and we'll just they'll treat you well. You get your investing in a place. You can decide how long you want to keep it afterwards. If just for the 4 years they're there or 7 years they're there. I don't know. But yeah, if you're gonna pay it, find some friends and.
It's the same for me in Tucson, which shout out Russ Lyon, Sotheby's in Arizona. My daughter and her friend, are renting an apartment, and it just would make more sense because home prices in Tucson are much more affordable than they are here. Why pay someone else's mortgage is the thought process.
Right. When you're spending that money anyways.
Correct.
Invest in real estate, right?
Well, and if you can put your kid's name on it too, what a way to give them an advantage.
Yeah.
And build their credit.
Yeah.
Build their
absolutely.
Get them out of college with a leg up.
Yeah. They'll be ready to buy a home, shortly thereafter.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
build the credit, and obviously work a great job out of college that gives them the opportunity to qualify for a mortgage.
Yeah.
Just have Nathan call me in 4 years, and we'll get him set up
for sure.
and Kiara as well.